Okay. Um. Hello. Jesus. Hello, one all. My name is Joel, and I want to explain a dream I have. I have pretty vivid nightmares and pretty, pretty, pretty interesting nightmares, and I wanted to tell the tale of the one I just had. Um, there are two parts to this nightmare. Um, the first one is the dream of the car crash, and then the second one is the dream of the club. Now, I had originally had a dream about the club maybe a few years ago, and it was to tell me something, because all your dreams always tell you something, but I kind of forgot what the dream was about, if I'm being honest, and so that just never went anywhere. I kind of that just never went anywhere. Let me edit my audio. This is so loud. Okay, that's manageable. Still loud as shit, but manageable. Okay, so the first dream. So I was in this class for political studies. It's not a class I'm really taking, but it is a class that I would take. I'm currently in college. I'm 25. So the class was about political mischief, and I entered the class, and earlier in the dream, because of a series of events, I needed to give my friend a pair of headphones. And my friend was near me, and I wanted to give him the pair of headphones, and then he ended up moving behind the teacher. Why did he end up moving behind the teacher? Because God hates me, and I can't have good things happen for an extended period of time, because then someone comes to fuck with me. That is a joke, but it don't make sense if I say that later. So my friend moves behind the teacher, and I'm trying to talk to my friend. I'm trying to get him signals onto getting the headphones, and they keep looking at me confused. But because they're behind the teacher thinks I'm fucking with them and not paying attention. So the teacher grabs me, and it's like, okay, well, you need to explain something about the class. And I go, okay, well, we were in the middle of doing a sharing time and somebody else was sharing, so maybe we should let them finish sharing until that person finishes sharing. And the whole time they're sharing, they're glaring. Well, the teacher's glaring at me, being like, you suck, you're the worst, I hate you. And I'm like, I get it. And so after they're done sharing, they then ask me something, and then I answer it to the best of my ability. And then after that, we just sort of go on a field trip for some reason. I don't think college kids goes on field trips. They just put you on studying abroad, but this was kind of a field trip. And so we are driving around, and the teacher is talking about how nobody lives their lives anymore. People are afraid to live their lives. They're afraid to do things that would upset the status quo, and they're just genuinely afraid. And so there's this pier at the edge of town for some fucking reason. You don't even ask me where the fuck we are, because some of this place looks like Miami, and then some of this place looks like fucking the central Midwest. Who genuinely knows where the fuck we are? I have no fucking idea. I wanted to go home. I don't even know why I accepted going to the class, but I did. And since I did, it is time for what's about to happen. So get in the car, we're driving, the person's talking about how no one lives their life, and then they see the pier, and then they're talking about how beautiful the pier is, and how much it's just great, and it's fun, yada yada yada, and then they start speeding up. and speeding up and speeding up and speeding up and speeding up and speeding up. And then we're like, whoa, 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 what is going on? Why are you speeding up? What is happening? And they're like, oh, well, you guys don't live freedom, so you'll have to earn your freedom. And we're like, what does that mean? And then they don't elaborate, and then they throw us off the edge of the vehicle, or off the edge of the pier. I just woke up. I'm sorry. Um, and so we're falling off the edge of the pier, and for some reason, like, I'm now thinking about the fact that I said this was a car. I guess this was a bus, because every single person in the class was in this car, but I guess it was like a clown car that was able to hold every single person ever. Who knows? Either way, we are thrown off the edge of the pier where we're falling, hit the water hard, and then the next few minutes of the dream is just all of us fighting to get out of the water. And now everyone's phones and, all the things they came with is also in the water, so everyone is freaking out. They're like, oh my god, how could this happen? Like, why did the teacher do that? Yada, yada, yada. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I kind of know where they did it. I'm probably wrong, but I kind of think I know how they did it or why they did it. But once again, that could be me speculating. Genuinely, who knows why they did that shit. But it is what it is. They threw us off. We are all fighting to survive. Some people started drowning immediately. I am going into the water, collecting people, trying to keep them from, perishing, doing everything I can. We end up grabbing a bunch of people. Most of us survive. Don't think there was any, like, real, people that got hurt. It's just, occasional people who were, like, having trouble getting out the water. And for some reason, my crush at the time was not in the car crash. They were there with us, but they just were not there. This will make sense in a little bit, right? So after that, I collect the phones of, like, people that I know in the class, and I'm just walking around being like, did you miss a phone? Do you miss a phone? Are you missing a phone? Just trying to talk to people and see, like, hey, are you missing a phone? Right? Everyone pretty much had their phone, and then anyone who didn't really like me. I am not well liked in this class. Everyone thinks I'm a troublemaker. I'm not. It's just a series of unfortunate events. Either way, we get to the club. Why did we go from a car crash to the club immediately? I don't know. Mind you, this is a dream. This isn't a television show or some shit. This is just a weird dream that I had. Anyway, we get to the club, and I'm talking to the last few people, trying to see if I could find their phones. And then my crush comes in, and my crush is covered in blood for some reason, and I'm talking to them, and this is the nicest my crush has ever been to me, and I am like, oh my goodness, but I'm also just like, well, we did just get into a car crash, so that means, someone wants to be nice to me, I'm going to enjoy it, which was a stupid ass idea, and I don't know why I fell for this. Well, I know exactly why I fell for this, but let's say here nor there. So, this person's talking to me, and they're ushering me into the club. And at that moment, I kind of remember the last time I had this dream. But once again, we'll get to that later. This is sort of foreshadowing the same thing with them being covered in blood in the first place. So we get to the line in the club, and then I remember what this dream was. So previously, on the last episode of The Avatar, I had a dream about basically Blade, where there's a club in the city that has um, basically vampires, but they're not actually vampires. They're called leeches because I guess my brain said, well, legally we can't get the rights to vampires, so we're just gonna have to do leeches. And so they have these huge mouths that come out, basically like not beaks, but they're just huge gaping maws that come out and just try to eat a bunch of stuff. And once again, terrified. And I just remembered, oh my god, we're heading towards the leech place. And so I asked them, I'm like, hey, isn't this the place that has leeches? And my crush goes, yeah. And then it dawns on me, they're a leech. They're not covered in blood because of the car crash. They weren't in the car crash. They were collecting people and turning them who had quote unquote died from the car crash. And so I immediately freak out, fight my way out of the club. They're chasing me. Um, the weird thing about the club is that like the school allows it to happen. Like the school allows for there to be a type of, I mean, they just simply allow it to happen. They don't really see it as a bad thing as long as they're not turning everyone. As long as they're not turning everyone, they just leave them, for the most part, alone. And so, me sort of popping up and disrupting that order, because I wasn't even supposed to be back there. My crush had escorted me back there, but since I was back there, the rest of the leeches kind of got excited because they were like, ooh, free eats. And so they went back there, or well, I was back there, tried to get me, couldn't get me to survive. They did not, and I was able to make it out and go home. Yeah, and that's the story of this dream I had about leeches, a crush, and a teacher who was a little bit too excited. Just a little bit. Will I ever do this again? Probably not. Why did I do this today? No idea. I will catch you all on the flip. Peace.